Hi guys, Artiar here. So for this video, we'll be talking about Meta Anubis, which is Meta Drew. So I'll be giving my own opinion about him currently. So let's take a look at this kit first. So I made a previous video that I'm talking about how hard is it to trigger his condition, right? So like this passive here, it's hard to trigger is because you need your ally to revive. And our current end game PvE content, which is for Subtle Fantasy and other bossing content, it's pretty hard to make our Esper die and revive. Like there's only a few Esper that can make your Esper revive, like Abigail, like Fatal Sister. They are more towards the more usage for PvE content. But if you don't use two of them, there's rarely any Esper that can revive. Like them, they're not counted as a revive. So this condition, this eternal passage, is hard to trigger unless you actually let Meta Drew to trigger by himself, because he can die and after 8 active turn then he can revive for himself. So with that said, there's actually a very niche usage for our current endgame PvE content, which is going to make the Meta Drew at level 1, which is going to be like Tolan. Like if you know our end game content that we are using speed running for our ritual miracle team, we are using Tolan to let him self die. Not this one here. Like for example, Apep here, we're making our Tolan to self die, and Tolan can apply the final passage to the boss, and the boss will get reduced by 40% defense. Then for Drew here is we want Drew to die, and after a total of 8 active turn we do, then Drew will revive, and after that Drew revive, all your ally will do 10% more damage. That is the buff Drew can apply to the team. So we're gonna make our Drew level 1. And then we don't really need to care about the attributes still. It will help a bit, and then we don't really need to care about the S3. The S3 skill up we need, because even after Meta Drew dies, right? Your allied Esper who get 15k damage will still get 1 stack of Burden of Dwat. And this Burden of Dwat here is a 8% of crit damage increase, so you can get up to 5 stack. So it's a 40% crit damage increase. We don't care the accuracy and resist, it doesn't matter. So you get a total of 40% crit damage increase, and also some additional damage boost by Drew. So the more time your Meta Drew dies, then the more stack you're going to apply. And if you have higher reso for, let's say, R2, then you can go up to 80% of crit damage buff. If you go up to R4, then you can get the damage buff a lot more faster. And then your R6 here will increase the stack. So this is the only usage we can currently use for Meta Drew in our endgame PvE content. That's the easiest way for us to trigger it. But because I get Meta Drew like pretty late last night, so I can't really have the opportunity to test it on Sonica. So Sonica here, they actually found a lot of different team for Meta Drew to make Meta Drew actually work in the Sonica. They actually boosted their score a lot. You can see the screenshot I'm posting here. They actually made their high score just by replacing Champagne by using Meta Drew. So they use Meta Drew level 1 to replace Champagne, and it's just instantly a easy boost. But the reason why they can't make it for Dark Starlord, currently in the ranking here, we don't see anyone using the Meta Drew combination in Dark Starlord. I think it's because they can't make Meta Drew die easily, because the Dark Starlord damage is pretty random. Dark Starlord damage is like attack 2 enemy, then attack 1 enemy 3 times. Then you don't really have a lot of AoE damage, so Meta Drew rarely dies. So that's the reason why we can't use it at Dark Starlord, so I'm not able to make the showcase. So another thing which you can try if you have a level 1 Meta Drew, you can do it in Dislyte. So let me show you an example, for example like this. So Meta Drew level 1, I'm going to put him in front to just let him die, and then I'm going to use Lauren here just to show you after the revive of the trigger, and I'm going to use Lapis here to show you the damage output. So let me apply Lapis with max crit rate, so there will be no like RNG going through. Okay, so let's say something like this, 100% crit rate. Okay, now let's take a look in the battle. So we're gonna put Meta Drew in front to just let him die. Then when after that Meta Drew revive, right, then it will still apply the damage boost for you. So let's say my Lapis here, if my S1 is a 30k 800 damage, then we're just gonna normal damage, let Meta Drew die, then normal damage, it's still gonna be the same 30k 800, 30k 800. But after my Lauren revive Meta Drew, then you will see the damage up trigger. Then now my Lapis attack on the boss is going to be 33k 900, so it's instantly a 10% damage boost just by letting Meta Drew die. So it also works in the shadow bosses, even he's a level 1 and even he just dies. Okay, so let's say I just do more damage here, 33k 900, 33k 900. Let me reset my skill. Attack again, 33k 900, I revive Meta Drew. Then now I'll be doing 37k. So it works for the shadow bosses, but you need Meta Drew to die, and then if you don't have Lauren here, then you have to wait a total of 8 active turns for Meta Drew himself to revive. So there's a way for it to use, but after every victory you're gonna get EXP. Then it will slowly level up Meta Drew until level 50. Then it will be harder to die, but it's still able to die, so you don't want like to put any dividend on Meta Drew or any equipment on Meta Drew at all. That's the way to let Meta Drew die. Then if you already level up Meta Drew, then what should you do? It's either you use the Astro Coin to make him back to level 1, or you're gonna wait for Meta Ollie, because I feel like his kit is lacking of something, and I feel like Meta Ollie will actually cover it up, because I feel like Meta Drew and Meta Ollie, they have like in terms of lore, they have their own combination, right? So I feel like when Meta Ollie release, it will have a synergize with Meta Drew, something like Yujing plus Lu Shang, it will be OP. So because the lack of the revive Esper we have in the game, the current Meta Drew is not like meta, but it will still be very strong if you make him like level 1. But if you make him like freaking high level, like level 70 plus D6 Meta Drew, I think it will be harder to actually use him for now. Like he is lacking something, which is a lot of the revive Esper, because his main thing is about revive, while our current game there isn't a lot of revive Esper to go for. So yeah, this is my own thought about Meta Drew for now. Unless they're gonna buff him by applying making him Meta Drew can revive his own ally Esper, or maybe his S3 here after doing damage can revive Esper, then it will be like freaking good. The only thing he's lacking now is a very consistent revive Esper for his team. The current revive Esper we have is not really that good. Like, so let's say the Esper that can revive, right? Combat system, revive, is only like what? Abigail, Phantom Sister. Lian revive is good, but Lian revive have to kill one enemy, and it will only trigger once per battle. Then Yujin revive is very good, but it's mainly for PvP content, I would say. And then the other Esper here don't really revive. Like Nico 1 is good because of the Soul Guard, but Nico is not going to be very meta in the PvE, so not really. So I think Meta Drew is lacking of a very good ally who can keep on reviving, and that will make Meta Drew very good. And the reason why I think Meta Ollie is going to be a very good pair with Meta Drew, Meta Ollie, his god is about like rebirth, like particularly through the mythical of it, through his own death, dismemberment, and resurrection by his wife Isis, right? So I think Meta Ollie itself, his kit should have something about revive. Maybe he can just die and revive, die and revive, and it will be a very good combination with Meta Drew. But for now, at our current phase 1 to phase 2, before Meta Ollie is going to release, Meta Drew himself, level 1 will be the best situation for Falsetto Fantasy cases, right? We don't talk about PvP yet. In Falsetto Fantasy cases, level 1 Drew will be your best bet. Okay, then unless Meta Ollie came out, and Meta Ollie, you have a kit of like keep reviving, then it will be good. And the other prediction about the Meta Ollie is because in our trailer we saw that we have a young Ollie hugging on Drew. So I feel like the Ollie itself actually is a reborn or maybe a rebirth. Like you can see our poster here, the Meta Ollie is actually a lot more younger, while the Ollie itself is actually a lot more adult. So maybe the rebirth kit of Meta Ollie will make Meta Drew passive a lot more stronger. So at least for now, in the PvE, and the PvE I'm relating to Falsetto Fantasy, which is the end game bossing content, Meta Drew have to be level 1. I haven't tried him at PvP yet. I have a player who already R6 D6 him. I will try to use his account to give it a shot. Right, so that's all for this video. You can feel free to comment down. How do you think about Meta Drew now? Have you got him yet? And feel free to comment down your feedback. Okay, see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is JNMP, Epic Bullet Boy, Sky Elk, thank you so much for your support. And for the supporter or patron of Artiar, which is Louis Shenada, Agni, Wang Tamer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwatts, Rimu, Chani, Antonio Winterspoon, Immune Kragan, Calamity, Rocco Senzions, Jordan Alons, thank you so much for your support.